Welcome to another episode of the Lightspeed Investing Podcast. I'm so glad to have our next guest here with us today. We've got Tim Ford, who is a cybersecurity professional and an entrepreneur, right? Who has now found success by actually being part of our trading education program. Tim, how are you doing today, man? Happy to have you here.
Doing great, Philip. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So super excited to bring you on because, you've been with us for about 2 months and I recently heard that you doubled your live account. So, super excited, to hear these results from you, but also, would love to get insights to what's actually worked for you, outside of your commitment. I know that you're definitely someone who is not used to working hard and getting results and success in life by following a blueprint. But why don't you kind of share with the audience, an intro about yourself? And I mean, despite being a busy dad of four, with a, cybersecurity responsibilities, right? How were you able to make this work?
Yeah, so just to kind of summarize a little bit about myself, I am a dad with four daughters, all adults, age range between 20, 24, and 31 years of age. Um, I also have a bachelor's degree and I have about 14 years in like cybersecurity, and I'm also an entrepreneur and also have a little bit of experience in trading. And I've joined up with this program with this team and hopes that I can change my future around and become a better trader. So here I am, and when I first got started, felt like I was like, I don't know, this is a little bit different than just buying stocks. But once I got into it, I started like just applying some of the knowledge that I was learning, and it's actually not that bad. So you know um, it's pretty simple so far.
So that's great to hear. So for you, like, what was able to click for you? That where you were just learning and then you practiced on the simulated, and then you are able to be now consistent, in generating returns.
So one thing about me is I like to read the manual and with almost anything that I do, I like to read the manual, I like to have a better understanding of how things work.
Mm.
So, you know, once I started reading the manual that was provided to me, and once I start jumping on some of the guest calls and watching the master trader, break down the technical analysis, a lot of things started to click. And once I jumped into simulation mode on the trading platform, then I started applying the things that I was learning and seeing,
Mm.
and things just started to fall in place. Not right away. I had to just keep practicing and practicing and practicing, but eventually it started to just fall in place, and I started to get better and better and started having more wins than losses.
And as I kind of alluded to, right, when you were considering joining our program, I said, "Hey, look, we're going to teach you, a lot of different things, but make sure you kind of focus on the ones that make the most sense to you and master those, right?" So, in your own journey and development, like, what are some of the patterns that have clicked the best for you? In terms of your style of trading as well, that will provide you with the most success.
My style of trading is just using the trends and also using the the some of the indicators, like single candles, some of the understanding what consolidation means, what breakout means, extensions and things of that nature. Being able to just recognize some of those things really helps as opposed to just not really having that understanding. Because before, when I first would join some of the calls, for instance, and I would just look at the charts, I'm just sitting there like, I don't know what's going on. But then once the master traders started breaking it down, it started making sense. I'm like, oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. And it makes you have a more educated guess,
Mm.
so to speak, of, it's a technical analysis or it just helps you make more of an educated guess as to like what's going to happen next. And,
And was this like the teaching, in the group format, or was this the one-on-one that you received from,
no,
the
this is in the group format.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so all of this came from just every week.
Hmm.
There's 2 sessions for the group analysis, where the master trader is just breaking down everything that's happening, with the technical analysis. And that's really helpful, you know, for, someone like myself, as well as others, I'm sure, because you can go out on YouTube or anywhere else and try to learn it all. And, or you can just show up to one of these group sessions and just learn it all in one place.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. And so for you, you're someone who's actually taken advantage of pretty much all of the resources that we have to offer, right? What were kind of the changes, that you had to, make, and adapt to, so that you actually put yourself in a disciplined journey, towards getting these results, because I know that it wasn't always easy, as we talked about, backstage.
Right. So I had to first understand what time of day was best for me to trade. So that meant learning, so I had to learn what intraday trading was, which is going to be the best time of day for me to trade, especially with the amount of money that I had to trade with. So I was starting out with a minimum amount of money. So intraday trading was going to be more, where I wanted to start out with, because it requires a smaller amount of margin. Not to get into any deep detail about that right now, but so I knew, what time of day was beneficial for me. So anything 9:30, you know, between 9:30 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time was going to work for me. My
Mhm.
work doesn't start until 10 a.m. in the morning.
I see.
So I knew I had about a 30-minute window to, trade live.
Mhm.
So that works perfectly for me. Might not work perfectly for everyone, but in my situation, works perfectly. And then outside of that, I can just trade in simulation mode and just keep practicing, and
Mm.
then just trade really hard for that 30 minutes.
Gotcha. And what would you say your experience is, going about it yourself versus, taking on the knowledge and wisdom when you get to consult with the elite trader? What was the difference, in terms of your before and after?
It would take me way longer to get to where I am at right now if I would have continued to go at it alone.
Mhm.
And that's something that I find that I found out a long time ago, is working with teams is so much easier than trying to do anything alone. I have a background of just working in a team environment, and it's no different than, with trading. You know, I when I first ever performed trading, I started out in options, and I was trying to go at it alone, just go out and just learn and soak up knowledge and try to learn everything on my own. And it's commendable to a certain degree, but I had questions and I had no one to really reach out to, no one to talk to about it, right? Just carve out 90 minutes, or I'm sorry, 30 minutes of my day, right before I start my regular job. It's a regular W-2 job. And I just, carve out 30 minutes in the morning and I just trade really hard during that time. And, I get it done.
And so with your journey, right? Like we recently learned that you were able to double your live trading account. Do you mind kind of sharing with the audience, what that looks like and how did you actually get to where you are to get these results?
Yeah. So I started out with a minimum of $2,000 in my account. And, it might be different for everyone. And there are certain instruments that you can, trade with that, you can start out with, I believe, as little as $50, on up from there. So with the, instrument that I wanted to trade with, I wanted to start out with a little bit more. And so with the $2,000, in April, I started out with $2,000 and I just started, trading. And I would just enter into positions, and, buy or sell one contract at a time. And I just kept doing that. But I would enter and I would exit, at a good place, take profit from there, and just kept, repeating the process over and over again. And, eventually my account just doubled. So by the end of April, my account had doubled. And I was just sitting back like, whoa, that's pretty fascinating. And I started out around the second week of April. So I saw my account just kept growing and growing each week. So one week I made $500. The next week I made like probably another $600 or so. And the next week I made about, $800. So it came out a little bit over $2,000 in profit. So yeah, my account had doubled and I was just like, wow, that was pretty amazing.
And I think, backstage we kind of talked, you have three indicators that you really pay attention to, right?
Yeah.
The algorithms, the SMA 8, and then the buying and selling dots that's proprietary, to us. But why those three specifically, that spoke to you, and has contributed to your success? Like, what is it? Why is it that by looking at these three simultaneously, you were able to, really be more precise in your trades?
Well, because I show up to the technical analysis, I pay attention to the master trader and I listen to the indicators that he mentioned over and over and over again, the ones that he pays attention to. So I'm like, if I'm going to learn from anyone, I'm going to learn from the master trader who's been trading for over a decade, right? So I start paying attention to the same indicators, and sure enough, I've had success, and I pay attention to all of the indicators. And one thing about it, there are several indicators, and I'm trying to learn how to pay attention to all of them. But the three that I mentioned, they're pretty accurate when it comes to which indicators to pay attention to, in terms of, I think that I have better results by paying attention to the 8 SMA, the PSAR dots, and the algorithm.
Right. And also combining that, you said, it seems like trends are your best friend as well, right?
Yes.
Why, and for you, why do you think that is?
I mean, you're just leaving money on the table if you don't follow the trends, my friend.
Mhm.
So, you know, anytime there's a trend, you want to be in it. Anytime there's not a trend and it's just the chart, the trend line or whatever is flat, it's really hard to make any money in that. And you're just wasting time. And really, you just want to wait for that little bit of consolidation or whatever period that is to just kind of ride itself out. Once the trend begins again, the ebbs and flows, you want to jump in on those. That's where the money is being made.
And Tim, obviously you said that your work schedule is a bit flexible for you to take this endeavor on, but you also have, a family and kids that could have potentially, stopped you from wanting to learn something new, right? So why is it that you decided to take that leap of faith, right? And, despite your busy schedule, try your best to fit it in and now get the results that you get? Because obviously, from speaking with you, you're definitely very committed, to doing this. But what is what is your reason for making this work?
It's funny that you asked that question. I just heard someone say something recently, and it really resonated with me. And it's a really simple answer to that question: risk.
Mm.
And it's actually not the first time I ever heard that before. Risk. If you want to be successful, you have to take risks. And I want to be very successful. Notice I didn't say I want all the money in the world. That wasn't what I said. I want to be very successful. I want to be successful. Of course, I want to have businesses. I want to have wealth. Of course, wealth, opens up doors, but it also allows me to, do the things that I would like to do in life. It allows me to also, set up a future for my children so that they can, prosper and do the things that they would love to do in life. Working a 9 to 5 is okay, but it doesn't lead to wealth. It doesn't lead to generational wealth. It doesn't open up doors, doesn't allow you to live the dreams, that, you want to live. So, hey, I'm going to take the risks that are necessary that will allow me to live out my life the way that I see fit, and not, the way someone else sees fit.
Mm.
So,
And
yeah.
so for you, why was this risk worth taking, right? What did you see that made you go, I've got this leap of faith, or that I don't mind jumping in, and because it makes sense.
Well, according to the words of the master trader, you're not going to make this kind of money anywhere else. um, I've seen during the technical analysis, I've seen him make moves or discuss certain moves in terms of points and how much money you can make if you enter the trade and exit the trade, and how much money that equates to depending on how many contracts you buy or sell, and that you won't make that kind of money working for anyone anywhere.
Right.
It's life-changing money. So, but he always goes back to saying you need to learn the technical analysis. You need to know how to enter the trade and how to exit. You need to learn the indicators. You need to learn the strategy. So you need to show up to class.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, there's the reason why the top 42% of the world's richest play this game for a living, right, Tim? So, hey, thank you so much for, being on here with us and sharing your journey. You certainly, have made strides. And, for the audience, do you have any concluding remarks, comments, especially to those who may be on the fence, despite kind of hearing what you said already?
Yes, I would say if you're skeptical, it doesn't cost a thing just to show up and, be a guest just to watch the technical analysis throughout the week. Happens twice a week. And, you know, just show up. And I believe that you'll be amazed at how much information you'll learn just from one of those sessions. And it's life changing. And if you want to change your life, I believe this is a place to be. But if you want to continue to live a mediocre life and just continue to just get by, you know, much success to you. But I believe if you want to change your life, this is the place you want to be.
What is the vision that you have, now that you have this vehicle on your side and resource on your side, Tim?
To just do everything that I can possibly do in this lifetime so that at the end, I can say, I've done everything that I could possibly do. And I'm satisfied.
All righty. Well, it sounds good, man. I wish you all the best, and I am looking forward to hearing your additional progress after this call. Thank you so much, Tim, for being on here. Again, this is Lightspeed Investing. We've got Tim Ford with us. He doubled his account in just 2 months, taking $2,000 to $4,000 by learning our proprietary strategy and executing the right way. If you like to learn more, feel free to shoot me a message and, let's have a deeper conversation. And again, this is Philip Jayhawk Chan of Lightspeed Investing. And Tim, I'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks, Philip.
All righty. Thanks. Take care.